Hello, everyone. Welcome to another lesson with me, Teacher Sherby. In this lesson, we are going to learn about how to divide a whole number by a mixed number. Notice that you have a whole number and you also have a mixed number. A whole number is just a number all by itself, and a mixed number is a number with a whole number and a fraction. Like this example right here, you have two, you have your division sign because that is what we are doing, and you have your mixed number. Remember, when you are dividing, you need to make sure that you are working with two fractions. So if you have a mixed number, you want to change it to an improper fraction. And if you have a whole number, you want to change that to a fraction. And we spoke about how to change from a whole number to a fraction in previous lessons. We're also going to look at how we do that in this lesson.
To change from a whole number to a fraction, you need to set your numerator as 2 and your denominator as 1.
And we know that 2 over 1, if you were to put a magnifying glass over it, is 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1. That's the same thing as 2 over 1 because your denominators are the same as 1 over 1. Your denominator is the same. After you are done turning your whole number into a fraction, now you need to look at your mixed number. And we already said, or we already talked about how we can change it from mixed number to an improper fraction. We know that 1 and 2/3 is the same thing as 5/3. We already did all that work, so it's okay. Notice now you have two different fractions. You have 2/3 as well as you have 5/3. Also, whenever you have two different fractions, you can change or look at your denominators. If your denominators are different, we know that we need to find our LCD. Or remember the other strategy that we spoke about, the keep, change, flip, or KFC. We can keep our fraction that's on the left, change from division to multiplication, and flip. Flip means to find the inverse of our fraction. 5/3 is now 3/5. And then we can multiply. We know that when we multiply, you do numerator times numerator, and then you do denominator times denominator. When you multiply it, you get 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and 1 times 5 is equal to 5. But wait, that is an improper fraction. We know what to do with improper fractions. We know that we have to change it. Again, if you put a magnifying glass, take a whole, which is 5/5, and can we take another whole out of this? No, because if you take another whole, it's going to be 10/5. But if you take 1/5, you know that will equal to 6/5. Our 5/5 is the same thing as one whole, and we have our 1/5. So our answer for this one would be 1 and 1/5. But let's see, if we do the LCD method, will we get the same answer? Dun, 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 dun. Let's find out. Our LCD is now 3. 2/3 or 2 ones is how many thirds? Let's find out. We can do 1 times 3, and then we can do 2 times 3 as well. So 2 ones is equal to 6/3. And now we can do the next fraction, which, if you can remember, is 5/3. 5/3 is how many thirds? Very good. 5/3 is the same thing as 5/3 because 3 times 1 is equal to 3 and 5 times 1 is equal to 5. Now you see that we have denominators that are the same. You have 5/3 and you also have 6/3. But we are not done. We know that we have more work that we have to do. Let's look at it and let's keep going. We know that when our denominators are the same, that we now have to ignore the denominators. Ignore them because when you divide them, that is going to equal to 1. And that don't really matter right now. And we are going to focus on our numerators, which are 6, and then it's also 5. So now we have 6 divided by 5 because you read it from left to right. The number that's on the left, which is our 6, that is our numerator. And the number that's on the right, which is our 5, that is our denominator. And remember the formula. You do numerator divided by denominator, even though these numbers are both in the numerator. But we need to write it as a fraction. So that's why the formula is this. And now we are going to rewrite the fraction or rewrite as a fraction, which is 6. Remember we said that is our numerator, and the 5, that is our denominator. You see this line right here? That's the division sign because fraction is the same thing as division. And look, remember when we did it, we said that 6/5 is the same thing as 1 and 1/5. And just in case you don't remember, you pull out a whole, which is 5/5. And then you can ask yourself, 5/5 plus what will give you 6/5? We know that 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, and your denominator is still 5. Let's rewrite it. This is what it actually is. That's equal to 6/5. 5/5 is the same thing as 1 whole plus 1/5. And if you can remember in our adding fraction or adding a whole number plus a fraction, you will see that you can put it together. So that's equal to 1 and 1/5. Or if you want to divide it, let's divide it. You have 6. Notice how I'm going to write my division sign. Divided by 5. And now you ask yourselves, how many groups of 5 can you get from 6? Oh, you know that's equal to 1, remainder 1. But watch what we're going to do with the remainder. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. We're going to subtract that. And you take away 5 from 6, you're left with 1. Now we can rewrite it as a mixed number. The number that's on top, that's your whole number. The number that's remaining, that is our numerator, and you are going to keep your denominator as the same. Let's rewrite it. You have 1 and 1/5. Or if you want to do the long way, 6/5. Take the magnifying glass, rewrite it. What is 6/5 actually? 6/5 is 1/5 added 6 times. So let's write it out. You have 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And I think I need one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that's actually it. 6/5 is 1/5 written 6 times. And now you're going to ask yourself, how do I write a whole? Or how many 1/5 do I need to make a whole? You know that you are going to need 5 of the 1/5 to make a whole because 5 of the 1/5 is equal to 5/5. Actually, let me write it over here. That's equal to 5/5, and 5/5 plus 1/5 is equal to 6/5. we need to change it from improper to mixed number. Now, the same thing that we have up here is the same thing that we have down here. Take out your whole, rewrite it as a whole, and then add it to your fraction. And you can see that you get 1 and 1/5. Now, if you need to rewatch this video for whatever reason, go ahead, rewatch it, challenge yourself, give yourself some problems that you can answer on your own, or try to answer this on your own using either the KFC method or finding your least common denominator, or using another strategy that you may know that I didn't mention here. Go ahead, answer questions, give yourself even some questions that are not here, and try to solve it on your own. Rewatch this video as many times as you wish so that you can get an understanding of what we are doing. See you in the next lesson.